A lot of y'all have asked for this type of video to help you really stand out in your clothing store. This is advanced and does take work, but to be the best, you have to put in the work to beat your competition. Now stick around until the end where I'll be walking you through how to create engaging content without trying to sell somebody. All right, so number 4 is to define your target audience. The order in this video is extremely important because we cannot get into anything advanced until we tackle the basics. I would also venture to say that most don't understand the basics, which is why we're also going to be going over it right here. So how do you know if you have a defined audience? You not only know their demographics, but their psychographics. So demographics are age, gender, location, which we talk a lot about in our advertising, but please make sure you have that, right? That's absolutely, you gotta make sure you have that. That's step number 1. An approximate age, demographic, which gender. We're not gonna be marketing to both, right? Most people who are watching this channel, you should be going after one audience and one audience alone. There is a percentage of people who are higher in the male or female category, and you wanna target that particular one for the example in this video. Now, location, that's obviously important too, right? Whether it's the United States or if you're going after Texas or you're going after a specific location, that is very, very important as well. Good. Now that you know the demographics, we can beat out the rest of the 90% of the competition by understanding psychographics. So psychographics digs deeper into the person. What do they do for fun? What magazines, if they read magazines, right? So some people still do read magazines. Do they read? What do they actually consume, right? So podcasts, do they listen to, right? What do they, are they listening to Audible? What books are they reading? What do they do on the weekend? What Netflix binge are they on right now? For example, does she, right? Let's say it's after a girl, right? Does she watch Friends? Does she eat at Chick-fil-A? Does she run 5Ks on the weekends with her family? All this is needed to hit your potential customer on the emotional side of their thinking. Now, we will dive deeper into a lot of this type of thinking throughout the rest of this video, but I did want to start making sure that you focused on the psychographics of your audience, because if you don't understand it, it's going to be much harder for you to eventually get that person as a customer. All right, before we cover the 5 ones and talk about the fastest way to grow your clothing store, I just wanted to say howdy. My name is Aaron. I'm one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding, and we are an e-commerce growth agency that specializes in helping clothing stores grow and scale profitably online. Now make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the latest strategies for clothing stores. We drop new content for you every single week. All right, so number 3 are the 5 ones. This is one area I like to draw out because I think it will really help you visually see what's going on. This is honestly one area that I share with people in our program and on strategy calls that they tell me seems so simple, but there is just no way that it could actually work. But I promise you that it will work. Now, before we jump into this, right, speaking of working, if you could hover your finger over the like button and drop it down if you found value in this video so far, that would really help the YouTube algorithm get to work on recommending this video. Just for putting in that work, here's a picture of the world's hardest working insect. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it over on the iPad right here. So the fastest way for you to grow are focus on the 5 ones, and we will go and try to give credit to where credit is due because it's been passed down from generation to generation now. It's really just passed down from guy to guy on here on the approach, and it still works no matter what business you're in, but specifically let's talk about clothing stores. All right, so number 1 is one audience. Let's highlight this for you guys to do a little bit different. So one audience, who is that, right? This goes back to the demographics, age, gender, location. Who is that audience? It also jumps into not only the demo, but the psycho, right? The psychographics. Like I said, we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth in this part of the video, but if you don't understand the demographic or the psychographic, it's gonna be very difficult because it's step number 1, right? The first one of these 5 ones is the audience. If you understand that audience and you can go deeper on it, you are going to beat out a lot of competition. Now, what do you do to give yourself another unfair advantage, right? So you go after one audience, one offer, right? What is your offer to go to market here? So let's look at, I don't know, like for Nike example, right? The one thing you're gonna get is like the offer for them is that it's gonna be a higher quality, right? A perceived higher quality for sports and apparel, right? They do a lot of other things, but it's a higher quality offer. Sometimes they do some discounts, sometimes not, but that's really their offer to go to market is like high quality product to go to market. And what they did in the very beginning was how do they create this waffle shoe that is much different than what other people were creating at the time and give you a quote unquote an unfair advantage. So it feels like, okay, the offer to the market is an unfair advantage for sports equipment, sports attire, you look good, feel good, you're faster, I guess, from it. But anyway, so what is your offer for you, right? Your offer could be something like, it could be a buy one, get one free. It could be a higher quality material. It could be organic material. Whatever your offer is, you need to figure it out and stack those things together. That's gonna help you out, right? So what is that offer? It could be a deal, right? So you could always do the buy one, get one free. JCPenney does a very good job of this, where it's the one day only sale or the weekend only sale and it happens every single weekend. Probably don't want to do that, but just as an example. So what is that offer for you? I don't like to do discounts. If that's your business model, then sure, do it, but figure out what it is for your offer. So one audience, one offer, one message. What is that clear message for you and your audience to stand out, right? So if you understand your audience, right, and you're a streetwear brand out of New York and you guys love the Brooklyn Nets, whatever it is, right, and you created a streetwear brand for people from Brooklyn, then your message could be very clear. It's like, hey, we're from Brooklyn, and that's all you really need to know, right? There's enough pride in that to be that message. It could be a specific demographic of people. It could be something from Mexican culture. It could be somebody from Miami. It could be a whole, like a women's organization, whatever it is, right? So what is that message that you're trying to send through your brand? I try to pop up some examples here of brands, but like a very clear message from Spanx, right, is that you just wanted something that was a high quality material for an affordable price and you can use it wherever. If you don't know about Spanx, we'll pop that up here as well, but that is their clear message, is a high quality material at an affordable rate, or affordable price rather, and then they just turned a ton of volume from it. So one audience, one offer, one message, one platform. So this gets on to, right, or one traffic source. And the traffic source could be paid ads, it could be organic, whatever it is. Like if you do TikTok organic, or you do Facebook ads, or you do Instagram ads, or whatever that is, right? You need one platform that you absolutely need to dominate. So you know who the audience is, you have a great offer to that audience, you have a very clear message about who you are and what you bring to the market, and then you dominate that on the platform that audience is already on, that you know well, right? You're starting to cut through things. Now, the most important part here is 1 year. Most people do some of these things, they don't do all of these things, and then some, right, you could get by with probably doing just 2 or 3 of these, but they miss the most important part, which is 1 year. Time. That kills almost everything, because if you can't do it consistently over time, it's going to be much harder to stand out. Because the best audience, the best offer, the best messaging ever, but you do it for 3 months and then switch, well, now it's inconsistent, right? Now you don't have the frequency or redundancy to actually break through any type of noise. So that's why these 5 are extremely powerful for you, right? Focus on these 5 areas. Now you're like, well, what do I do here? Like, you know, after the 1 year, what goes on, right? We'll talk about that in another video. But the point is, this will get you to a high 6-figure, even a 7-figure company. Then you will have to pivot. You'll have to start, worrying about other different audiences, different offers, different variations of your message. And obviously it's gonna happen over multiple years. But if you've watched any of our other videos like Supreme, right, it took them 30+ years to make that happen, right? So they were really focused on here. They had a really clear message, right? And they dominated a platform. They had a really good offer, and it was a high quality offer. They knew their audience, right? New York audience, and they expanded from there. But they did that, right? Instead of 1 year, they did it for 30. Then you can turn it into a $600 million a year company. But for the purpose of this video, right, let's get you to your first 6-figure, 7-figure, whatever, 8-figure type year. That's done through this area right here. So, all right, so like I said, if you cover those 5 ones, right, you focus on those 5 areas, I promise you, it would be very difficult to not have some level of success. It's also very difficult to follow on that path, which is why I said you got to put in the work to beat out the competition. But if you do that, right, you are going to stand out. If you have any questions about it, right, I know it can be a lot, just drop a comment down below. We're super responsive for most questions on here, so just drop them down below. Happy to answer any questions that you have. All right, so number 2 is thought reversals. So let's dive into this. If this is, right, so if something is not 100% true, then it is a belief, and if something is a belief, then that belief or opinion can be changed or challenged. So what is true? Nike is the most valuable clothing brand in the world. We're not arguing that, right? The numbers are real, but that doesn't mean it's the best, right? I do some quotes here. Doesn't mean it's the best brand in the world. Many would argue that Nike is, but it wouldn't be unanimous, which leaves room for doubt and interpretation. So what does that have to do with your clothing store? Well, a lot. See, if you can find a way to help people see that something is not absolute, right? It's not absolutely one way or another, then it leaves room for you to stand out and capture the market share, right? So a piece of the pie, for example. Now, another example here, if you had an online boutique and that common belief for people online is that online boutiques can't cater to women of all sizes with high quality material at an affordable price, but your boutique actually can, you could create thought reversals about inclusive content. Now, we'll talk about this later in depth on this video, but a video showing women of all sizes smiling with reviews popping up on the screen about the quality of material, how much they love the products, and at what a great price, right? Then you can really start to stand out. Now you're hitting on all of the things that they believed, the women who thought those things in their head were not true. You challenged those beliefs. So when you can take a different stance, you begin to stand out, and in marketing, it is almost always going to pay a dividend. Now, one book I would highly suggest for you to read, and even if you skimmed or you did it on Audible, whatever, doesn't matter, is a book called Get Different by Mike Michalowicz. Just type in Mike M and Get Different, because the last name is a very difficult name to spell, at least for me. So Mike Michalowicz, and just look in the book Get Different. Highly suggest that book. We don't get paid to tell you this. I just think it's going to add some value to you. He digs deep into what helps you stand out to move that ball forward, and the ball being money, the growth of your company. Remember, better isn't better, different is better. So he really harps on this, and I think that it will really help you completely understand where to go in your business to help stand out, because you know the specifics of your business, and I can't answer all of those in a YouTube video, but I can give you the resource to help you stand out. But remember this, if something is not 100% true, right, that I just said, then it is a belief. Now you need to think about the way that people believe certain things and challenge them, right? If you don't believe in the things that you're challenging, then don't, but right? If you challenge them, right, now it becomes a thought reversal. You stand out, and the moment you stand out, that gives you an opportunity to take up a piece of the market share that may not have always been available to you. All right, so number one, the part that you probably have been waiting for throughout this whole video, which is why I put it last and why it's the most important, is number one, create engaging content, not sales, right? Or more so, don't be salesy. I think that's too long of a lower third, but you get my point here. So it's easy to jump on trends where you showcase clothes to different music and fast cuts to different spots. But if you don't have a purpose behind it, then you're following a fad that will likely fizzle out, forcing you to find the next big switch businesses are making, right? That's why the trends change so quickly. I really don't like the word trends because trends typically go over for a long period of time. Fads are very quick, and most of the things that are happening on TikTok or Instagram Reels or anything like that is a fad, because the things that worked last year are definitely not working this year. Now, hear me when I say that jumping on trending songs, right? I want to use the correct terminology for the way that they're used on the platforms, right? If you are jumping on trending songs, dances, or meme-worthy content, it will work because it shows that you are in touch with reality, what's going on in the world right now. But unless you develop a way, right, you find a way to develop a personality, it will be very difficult to build loyalty. Brands that do this really well not only showcase their products, but the lifestyle they are living and make it personable. Now, I think this is kind of a good exercise for you to do, which is why I always helped you to grab something to take notes with. List out 10 categories that make your business or the people you work with in your business unique and or relatable. So some examples, right? You love football and play fantasy football together. That's a good example. Everyone has kids on the team maybe. Favorite drink from Starbucks. I've seen this from one of our clients that we work with, right? It's very relatable. Some of their drink orders are like extremely long. Not relatable to me, but I saw so many people as a fly on the wall engaging with them because they're like, oh, I get a Sonic drink and mine is all kind of crazy too, right? So favorite drink from Starbucks or Sonic, showcasing your favorite type of music, right? A lot of people that we work with client-wise, they have made the phrase of like, I'm a mix of like Hillsong and Biggie, or like, you know, they're kind of crossing the two of them. And I said that phrase like 2 or 3 times, and a lot of them are like shaking their head like, yeah, like that's me, right? I definitely like listen to this type of music, and I also kind of mix it with these too. So showcasing your favorite type of music is going to draw people in. Anything that shows your age, i.e., right, there's a lot of people from the 90s, right? Curfew was when the street lights came on. That's very relatable to a lot of people. You may be drawing people into it. Small town or big city, right? Some people are from small towns, some people are from big cities. As you kind of go back and forth between whichever is yours, right? It could be something that, again, draws people through and draws people in. Favorite foods, morning routine. One thing that a client did really well as of recently is said that, look, I'm going to be more personal and go deeper on certain areas of vulnerability and share with them with you. And when I do these things, right, that is when people are going to be drawn in. It will repel people, but it will also draw in the people who were like on the edge, draw them deeper. So there's a concert I was supposed to go to this last weekend, but they put it on over 2 weekends, and one of the weekends had gotten canceled, right? So I didn't go at all, but the point is, one of them had gotten canceled. So the band decided that, hey, we feel bad for you. We're gonna play a free show, come out and we'll, play the music for you no matter what, because the outdoor arena got canceled. In addition to that, they said, hey, we're recording a new song. For everybody who is involved with this, if you're able to make it out to our show or to our shoot spot, right, in California, we will, put you into this music video. And so what it did was it just started a thread of comments. There's probably 1,000 comments of people who are just like, I like them, but I have a whole new, deeper respect for this band, and I'm gonna support them because of something that they did, right? So they were personable, they reached out to people, they showed that they were real, that helped build that brand loyalty. And it really helped them kind of solidify in people's minds that they're actually real people, not just a fan and a celebrity, basically. Also, behind the scenes, I think does really well too. We do this sometimes too whenever we're recording. Franklin will record some Instagram stories, something like that, and show you guys what it looks like outside of just standing in front of this camera. I think that's also helpful. Those are just things to kind of jog your mind to think of some ideas, but come up with the 10 categories that you can create content around, as well as doing the other things. Obviously selling the products, don't stop selling the products, you should do that, but my point is there should be other areas of their business. There are a lot of areas that you could go after, there's so many actually, but to find them and exploit them, it would really help you develop a relationship with your customer one by one. You must have great quality clothing, that is a given, but they will come back when you can hear them say, I feel like I know you, right? That's when the relationship is built. That is when you really start to build a brand. So you do the unscalable, reaching out via DMs, responding to those who respond to you on comments or stories. Use your audience to create that content. TikTok does a great with this, right? With their reply comment feature. I promise the more you can sprinkle in real life education, entertainment, and reliability, the more people are going to be attracted to you and build your brand. As a side note here, kind of side story, if you watch the Supreme video, what Supreme does is they just tell stories through high quality video. They had some random guy from New York who was riding around on a skateboard to, show kind of some awareness to oppression, and they sold shirts from it, right? It's literally showing the human side of the brand. You can use good content to share pretty much anything. I promise the more that you can sprinkle in real life, education, entertainment, and or relatability, the more people are going to be attracted to you and build your brand. The bigger your brand, the bigger your business will grow. It's one of those things where it's slow, right? It's slow at first, and then it catches on like wildfire. It's a flywheel, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I know this is a lot to take in, but I wanted to share with you one more thing, right, that I think will be very helpful for you in this video, right? And that's about our free masterclass training for clothing stores that will walk you through the 5 pillars that you must have in place for your online store to scale consistently and profitably, no matter what is going on in the world. And if you want to get free access to that training, make sure you check out the link in the description down below. It's 19 minutes, and I truly believe that it will help your clothing store take that next level, that next leap that it needs to. All right, so if you're ready to take action on the psychology you learned in this video and start running ads with your clothing store, make sure you go check out this video right here next. Oh, P.S. don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I know you're thinking about it right now. Before you go, hit that subscribe button. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.